Okay, if you want, we can start slowly. Again, welcome to Classical's listening, IELTS listening multiple choice question answer session. Okay, if you want, we can start slowly. Today, we will look at two types of multiple choice questions and answer and how to solve them. We will look at tips and strategies, and we will do two listening activity with you. Let's imagine that you are you are taking the exam, and this is how you will see the multiple choice questions. Option 1 is choose the correct letter A, B, or C. And you should choose the correct answer with your pencil. And the second option is choose two letters, A to E. You will choose two options. Then when you finish answering the listening questions, you will have 10 minutes to transfer them to your answer sheet. And you will see your answer sheet. You will see your answer sheet, and you will write your correct letters in your answer sheet. Let's look at some tips and strategies. Luckily, this type of questions come in order. You will hear all the audios only once. So you couldn't find an answer, just skip to the next question. It will save you a lot of time. And don't leave any questions blank. You skip it, you don't know the answer, just do it. You won't lose point for the wrong answer. Let's see. And yes. And questions comes in order, and you should read the questions first. Read the question first, try to remember the keywords, then and you will be given time to read the questions. Then you will see, then the recording will start. Always listen for two answers because they come in order, and if you skip one, if you miss one, you will have a chance to catch the next answer. In the IELTS listening, there is a pattern in here. You will see the listening multiple choice questions usually at part 2 or 3. If the multiple choice questions comes in part 2, it will be easier. And in the part 2, you will hear a monologue. Monologue is one person speaking and one person is explaining something. If you see this type of questions at the part 3, you will hear a dialogue, a conversation between 2, 3, or 4 people, and the questions will be harder. There are two types of multiple choice questions. You should choose two answer, like 2 or 3 answer, like I show you here, or you will choose A, B, or C from here. And most probably you will hear every option. This is the trap of this type of questions. You will hear all of the options and you should choose the correct one. So don't fall for the trap answers. Let's continue. First, by the way, if you have any questions, you can write them from the chat part, and also you can note your answers for the questions 11, 12, 13, and 14, and we can check later if they are true or false. So I'm waiting for your answers too. It says this passage is taken from the IELTS 14, from the section 2, and we will listen to the voice record, then we will find the solutions. Let's look at the questions first. As you can see, they are the answers are very short. In the short ones, we should look for the paraphrasings and the keywords. Let's see. Stevenson was founded in, I see here, founded. Founded, it can be founded, started. Founded means starting something, starting a company, blah, blah. We can look for the synonyms of it. Founded, starting, something like this. In the second question, it says originally. If it says originally, I am expecting something contrary to original one. Maybe now it is different, but in the first place, in the original version, it was different. Originally, Stevenson's manufactured goods for healthcare industry, automotive industry, or machine tool industry. Okay, now we have 2 questions. Let's continue. And it says, what does the speaker say about the company premises? Premises means buildings and all the opportunities that's given to you by the company. What does the speaker say about the company premises? The company has recently moved. The company has no plans to move. The company is going to move shortly. In here, we have a grammatical question too. We have is going to, so it is for the future. The company has recently moved. The company has no plans to move. So we should look for the word move. Instead of move, what can they use? We should think about this. And question 14, lastly, the program for the work experience group includes time to do research, meeting with a teacher, talks by staff. Time to do research, time to do research. For the research, maybe in here, the keyword is research. Here, keywords can be meeting. And here, keyword can be stuff. Maybe. We will see it during the audio. Okay, here we have 4 questions. Stevenson was founded in. Originally, Stevenson's manufactured goods for. Originally is the keyword here. And what does the speaker say about the company premises? Premises and move is the keywords here. And lastly, the program for the work experience group include is the keyword, and time to do research, meeting with a teacher, talks by staff. Now, let's listen to our audio.
You will hear the managing director of a company called Stevenson's welcoming a group of work experience students. First, you have some time to look at questions 11 to 14.
You will always have some time to look at the question first, then the audio will start. Can everyone hear well?
Now listen carefully and answer questions 11 to 14.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Stevenson's, one of the country's major manufacturers of metal goods. Thank you for choosing us for your 2 weeks of work experience. My name is Julia Simmons, and since the beginning of this year, I've been the managing director. Stevenson's is quite an old company. Like me, the founder, Ronald Stevenson, went into the steel industry when he left school. That was in 1923. He set up this company when he finished his apprenticeship in 1926, although he actually started making plans 2 years earlier in 1924. He was a very determined young man. Stevenson's long-term plan was to manufacture components for the machine tools industry, although in fact that never came about, and for the automotive industry, that is cars and lorries. However, there was a delay of 5 years before that happened, because shortly before the company went into production, Stevenson was given the opportunity to make goods for hospitals and other players in the healthcare industry. So that's what we did for the first 5 years. Over the years, we've expanded the premises considerably. We were lucky that the site is big enough, so moving to a new location has never been necessary. However, the layout is far from ideal for modern machinery and production methods, so we intend to carry out major refurbishment of this site over the next 5 years. I'd better give you some idea of what you'll be doing during your 2 weeks with us, so you know what to expect. Most mornings, you'll have a presentation from one of the managers to learn about their department, starting this morning with research and development. And you'll all spend some time in each department, observing what's going on and talking to people, as long as you don't stop them from doing their work altogether. In the past, a teacher from your school has come in at the end of each week to find out how the group were getting on, but your school isn't able to arrange that this year.
Okay, this was the end of our listening, end of our audio. Now, if you want, you can write them from the chat. If you have the answer, you can write them on the chat. Let's look at the answers now. First, we have Stevenson's was founded in. We hear that all of the options. We hear that 1923, 1924, 1926. We hear all the options during the audio. But which one is the true? Let's see the scripts. It says, like me, the founder, Ronald Stevenson, went into the steel industry when he left school. That was in 1923. He set up this company when he finished his apprenticeship in 1926. So here the answer will be 1926. Although he actually started making plans 2 years earlier in 1924, but this is not the date that he founded the premises. It was the time that he started drawing them. Now let's look at question 12. It says, originally Stevenson's manufactured goods for, we say that the keyword is the originally. Let's see. Stevenson's long-term plan was to manufacture components for the machine tool industry, although, in fact, that never came about. So we eliminated that option. And for the automotive industry, that is car and lorries. However, there was a delay of five years before that happened, because shortly before the company went into production, Stevenson was given the opportunity to make goods for hospitals and other players in the healthcare industry. So we are going back to our questions, and we see here, originally, Stevenson's manufactured goods for the healthcare industry. Question 13 says, what does the speaker say about the company premises? Again, we are going to our text, and it says, over the years, we have expanded the premises considerably. We were lucky that the site is big enough, so moving to a new location has never been necessary. So we intend to carry out major refurbishment of the site over the next 5 years. It says here, they don't think about moving to a new place, but they will renew their industry machines or some things. So in here, the company has recently moved. No, the company has no plans to move. Yes, the company is going to move shortly. Again, no, they have no plan to move. But again, we hear all of the options. They are not planning to move, but they will do something, but not moving. Question 14 says, the program for the work experience group includes time to do research, meeting with a teacher, talks by a staff. We should look for the keywords here. Let's see. Research, meeting with a teacher. Yes, we hear that. In the end, it says, in the past, a teacher from your school has come in at the end of the week to find out how the groups were doing, but your school couldn't arrange this year. So this option is eliminated. They are not going to meet with a teacher. And we see most mornings you will have a presentation and talk. There are the paraphrases from one of the managers. One of the manager is the paraphrasing of staff. Staff means that people working there. So our correct option is talks by staff. And then we answered four of the questions as true. Now you have 4 points. Do you have any questions? If you don't have, I will move on. Yes, I hope everyone is doing well. In here, we have, again, this is from the section 2, so the questions are a little bit easier. It says, choose 2 letters, A to E. Which 2 activities that volunteers are mentioned? First, look at the questions first. Because the questions are short, we should look for paraphrasing here. We should look for the synonyms. It says here, A, decorating. Okay, let's keep that in mind. Cleaning, delivering meals, shopping, and childcare. We should look for the synonyms of these words during we are listening. And questions 13 and 14, choose 2 letters, A to E. Which 2 ways that volunteers can benefit from volunteering are mentioned? Which 2 ways volunteer can benefit? not the other side, but the volunteers themselves can benefit. Let's look for the keywords here. A, learning how to be a part of a team. I can assume that team is the keyword. B, having a sense of purpose. C, realizing. Two, realizing how lucky they are. Okay. D, I can think that lucky here is the keywords. D, improved ability at the time management. And E, boosting their employment prospects. I should look for keywords again during the audio. Okay, let's look at the listening now. If you have the answers, you can write them from the chat part. You can stop me and ask me questions anytime. Let's see.
And answer questions 11 to 14.
Good morning. My name's Lucy Crittenden, and I'm the Director of Operations for an organisation that arranges volunteering in this part of the country. I'm hoping I can persuade one or two of you to become volunteers yourselves. Let me start by briefly explaining what we mean by volunteering. Volunteers are teenagers and adults who choose to spend some time unpaid helping other people in some way. Most volunteers devote 2 or 3 hours to this every week, while a few do much more. The people they help may have physical or behavioural difficulties, for example. Volunteers can do all sorts of things, depending on their own abilities and interests. If they're supporting a family that's struggling, for example, they may be able to give them tips on cooking or recommend how to plan their budget or how to shop sensibly on their income. They might even do some painting or wallpapering, perhaps alongside any members of the family who are able to do it. Or even do some babysitting, so the parents can go out for a while. The benefit from volunteering isn't only for the people being helped. Volunteers also gain from it. They're using their skills to cope with somebody's mental or physical ill health, and volunteering may be a valuable element of their CV when they're applying for jobs. Employers usually look favourably on someone who's given up time to help others. Significantly, most volunteers feel that what they're doing gives them a purpose in their lives. And in my opinion, they're lucky in that respect, as many people don't have that feeling.
Okay, this was our listening. Now we will look at the question 11 to 12. Let's look at the script. Which two activities that volunteers do are mentioned? Decorating, cleaning, delivering meals, shopping, and childcare. In here, we can see that from the script, volunteers can do all sorts of things depending on their own abilities and interests. If they are supporting a family that is struggling, for example, they may be able to give them tips on cooking. It doesn't say cooking. Give them tips on cooking, or recommend how to plan their budget or how to shop sensibly on their income. So here, volunteers are not doing them. They are just suggesting them. In this part, we will continue. They might even do some painting or wallpapering. Painting or wallpapering, we are looking for the synonyms here, and it is decorating. Perhaps alongside any members of the family who are able to do it, or even do some babysitting so that parents can go out for a while. Babysitting is the synonym for the childcare. So the answer is here, A and E. Let's look for questions 13 and 14. The benefit from volunteering isn't only for the people being helped. Volunteers also gain from it. They are using their skills to cope with somebody's mental or physical ill health, and volunteering may be a valuable element of their CV when they are applying for jobs. We see that here. Boosting means like making it bigger, boosting their employment prospects. And this is here, applying for the job, CV. So one of our answer is E. Employers usually look favorably on someone who is given up time to help others. Significantly, most volunteers feel that what they are doing gives them a purpose in their lives. Let me see, learning how to be a part of a team, having a sense of purpose. In here, I see purpose in the question, and I see purpose in the options. Let me see, gives them a purpose, having a sense of purpose. So I can say that one of the option is B. But let's continue reading. And in my opinion, they are lucky in that respect, as many people don't have this feeling. I see a keyword here, lucky, and I see lucky in the option C, realizing how lucky they are. But the difference here that this is a trap in this kind of questions. It says, in my opinion. But in the question, it doesn't ask for the opinion. It says which two ways that volunteers can benefit from volunteering are mentioned. And in here, we say, in my opinion, they are lucky. But as many people don't have that feeling. But in here, it says realizing how lucky they are. So in the speech, it says, in my opinion, but in the question, in the options, it says realizing how lucky they are. So the meaning is different here. That's why our correct options are B and E, having a sense of purpose and boosting their employment process. Yes, do you have any questions for me? Let's recap it. First, we see what we will learn today. We see how we will see the listening part in the real exam. Then we look for tips and strategies. We learned that questions come in order, and we should look for synonyms and paraphrasings. Then we look at the ABC questions, and we say that this type of questions often come in part 2 and part 3. First, we saw the one option multiple choice questions, and we saw it. We look for the keywords. We listen for the answers together. If we are listening for the 11, we are listening for the 12 too. After that, we saw the different type of multiple choice questions. Choose 2-letter options. Then here we are looking for the keywords, and we are listening for the paraphrasings. Then in here, again, choose 2-letter questions. In this one, we are listening for the synonyms and paraphrasings. We are looking at the question first. We are underline the keywords. Then, while we are listening, we are paying attention to these ones. That's all. Thank you for joining me today. I had a great lesson with you. If you want to practice questions, you can go to Classical Library and find our resources there. Thank you for joining.